I appreciate it, and thank you for having me on, Coach. Anything I do to help, anybody that wants to kind of either, kind of go wholesale with this or kind of wants to have a package with it. But, my name is Coach PJ Gibbs. I work now at community school down here in Naples, Florida, which is a private school. I got hired about 2 months ago. But if you're looking for a defense that you can be multiple with, that you can not sub personnel, that you want to have athletes on the field, like us down in Florida. Like I coached in New Jersey for 14 years. So I always equate the New Jersey player from the Florida player. Obviously, A, we get more reps down here because of spring football. B, like New Jersey, just like a bear, right? It hibernates. They get like down here, deer and bear don't hibernate. I mean, those dudes are constantly running, they're moving, they're doing stuff. So we can run a little bit now. So I wanted to talk about alignment assignment and then some of the stuff we do differently against 10 and 11 personnel, and how you can have that extra hat and advantage in your scheme. So first things first, against 10 personnel, I'll just kind of go through personnel and responsibilities and, everything like that. And I'll have my contact information for anybody that wants to reach out about the system, installs, virtual install, whatever you guys want to do. So, so for us this year, like for the first time since 2020, we were really blessed to have, our nose is a Power 5 nose, Division II, Division I. And this kid's an underclassman. So we were very fortunate to have those three guys, which allowed us to do a lot more stuff in the back end. Your Mike and your Jack are basically pluggers. They at most of the time, they will have run support, whether it's backer or sky support outside of them, kind of forcing everything back into them. So that's why I tell both those guys they have the easiest job in America. Now, when you do the install, when you do this, the Mike is technically going to be the backer away from the back because he's going to be gapped up. Okay. The Jack is going to have a gap to the football. I'll go through all those schematics in a second. I just want to go through the personnel for you guys. Our Viper is like our hybrid guy. So the dog, the star, the spur, the nickel, the Sam, whatever you want to call that. I'm from the Don Brown School of Defense, so we use the term Viper. We do play boundary and field, corner safety. So our field guys are generally more the athletic, go up and get the football. Not as physical as the boundary guys, where our corner and safety, the boundary guys, because of the run into the boundary, hitch into the boundary, screen into the boundary. Those guys need a little bit to be a little bit more physical than our field guys. Now, this cat right here, our Rover, who's our middle safety, and I should have prefaced this in the beginning. We do not operate out of a 3-high look. We are a 3-safety defense, meaning we have a field safety, our middle safety, and boundary safety all on the field at the same time. Now, we will get into a 3-high look at times, whether that's 3rd and 7+ or tendencies and stuff like that. But for the most part, this Rover, this guy has to be your dude. He has to be your cover number 3 vertical, tackle the quarterback one-on-one, play up on the line in your bare front, delay blitz. You're going to ask him to do a lot. So this guy technically is going to be the quarterback of your defense. So I get questions all the time. I did during clinic season. It was like, Coach, what type of person is this kid? I said, listen, it's 4th and 1 to win the state championship. You need to make a stop. Who do you want making a tackle? That's the guy that you want to put at your Rover spot. And it's different for everybody, right? And again, whatever I'm giving you, I have more, but B, it's for you guys to take back and look at your personnel and say, okay, this kid best fits what we want to do. And I caution all the coaches to it's great to want to do things, but what hand are you dealt, right? It's what type of guys do you have? Like, you may look at this whole package. Like, I can send you guys, we have 55 slides for our spring install from last year. You may like 18 of them and be really, really good at them. And, as a coach, good for you, because you're putting your kids in the best position to be successful. So let's talk about alignment to 10 personnel. So basically what we're going to do is we don't 2-gap our nose. Our base stuff, we're going to slant our nose away from the back. Our end here, we're going to be stand up, head up 4s. He's going to – 2 things, depending on who you have. You can slant this kid, or you can have him by the inside half of that tackle. And obviously, if you get zone climbing, he's basically going to turn into a 3 technique with his hands. This end, you can play in a 5 or a head up 4, slanting in the B gap. We'll technically do that to start. So this Mike is understanding like, hey, I have backer force outside. I have sky support here. I'm good. I can run to the football. To this side, because you're 3/2, technically you can do a couple things. Like we either do our Tampa coverage, which is just old school Tampa 2, mandatory no outside release, playing our deep half, apex defender, hook to curl, run pass read from the tackle. Now here's the thing is, in the RPO age, right? Okay. Is this guy an apex plus or apex minus player? Well, the back is away, so he's an apex minus player. So that means that he is not in the RPO read from the quarterback. All right. This guy right here, however, is in the RPO read for the quarterback. So this is where that middle safety comes in. So we'll play basically two versions of quarters. We'll play off quarters or press quarters. And then obviously everything's predicated off number 2. If we're playing off true quarters, he'll be this quarter. He'll be this quarter. He'll take a vert. He'll take the out, so on and so forth. The middle safety will get his run pass read from the tackle. And he's at 8 yards, and all he's doing is hopping. He's not backpedaling. He's just active feet. We call it hot feet, right? Just kind of hopping. If we get, our offense likes to run this, power, pull the guard, the back comes across, the jack is the read, so he's running like heck. We tell him, go. You have help, go. Well, now the quarterback sees that he's going to pull the ball. Well, here's our low hole robber to steal that or separate that kid from the ball. All right, he's not accounted for in any of the RPO stuff. And if he is, good for us because that's more practice time they're going to predicate on finding out where that kid is. If it's run, he is hopping. He is a inside zone to banana fit player. Now, the one thing with inside zone, and we'll practice this with our jack, our ender, and our rover, is for whatever reason, if this kid gets washed all the way down to the A gap, we tell our jack, do not run into the back of the same color jersey. So he'll just keep climbing to that next gap. So essentially he'll fit off the backside of the end, and then our rover will banana fit for the quarterback. So he's your quarterback player on inside zone. All right. And then again, we have numbers. If you take it, down the middle here, I mean, we're good here. We're good here. I don't know how many RPO coaches just want to hand the ball off. They want to pull it and get the ball out. I was listening to coach, and that last one when I popped in, he showed the one clip where they motioned out to empty, and he's like, well, the quarterback should have thrown, and he's right. Like nobody went with him. He should have hit the back into the boundary, and then now he's running for fun. So we predicate ourselves on numbers, and I got to say that we just don't sit in this. This is like I'm taking you guys through like week 1 install. I think last year we were 30% base, 70% pressure. And it's not like zeroed out, let it rip, like, hey, we're just going to let it go pressure. We play a lot of simulators, fire zones, trap coverage pressures. Like we do a lot with our guys because we have the athleticism to do it. Okay. The next one is to trips. Okay. So I'll walk us through if they line up in 3x1, and I'll go back to the first picture and I'll talk about motion to the Viper and away from the Viper, kind of how we preface that. Okay, so this is it. Boom, they break the huddle. It's 3x1. All right, so this is our Apache check. So the box doesn't change. Okay, 5 technique or 4, whatever you guys feel based on your scouting report. You want to be in a squeeze spill, don't get reach guy, or you want them occupying the B gap or the mic to have it. It's up to you guys. We'll talk about the trip side first. Nothing changes rule-wise here. We're Tampa, 3/2. The rover has 3 control, meaning like a hitch. So if we got this loaded formation where the back was strong, we get a lot of this fake the inside zone, want to bang that number 3 on the hitch. We've already taken that away by alignment. Okay. Now we do have single receiver rules to the backside. So based on the receiver's width, okay, we will either trap it, invert it, or we'll bracket based on down distance and who that number 1 receiver is. So if this guy's really, really wide, our corner's gonna look at our safety and be like, man, I can't undercut 1, take away the quick stuff, and add to the run late. So we're gonna go Indiana. We're gonna make basketball. We're gonna go Indiana. So we're gonna lock this corner right here, and we're gonna walk this safety down into the slant window, and it essentially becomes sky support. Now, if this alignment, the corner's like, you know what? Yeah, I can undercut 1, take away the slant, and if I got like speed option this way, giddy up, I got to fit the run. And one thing I got to say about trap coverage, guys, is if you guys can implement it in high school football, it is phenomenal. Taking away the quick stuff, also getting a late hat to the run fit. I can't recommend it more. If you have another high school that runs in your area, or a college guy that you know, or someplace you can go visit and learn it. It is a phenomenal coverage. And then again, if we want to bracket and play leverage, outside leverage to inside leverage on number one with a wheel alert for the jack here, or a peel alert in a sense, we'll do that based on down and distance and who this guy is, knowing they're going to try to get him the ball. Okay. Now, motion. So like day 3 or 4 of the install. All right, well, coach, what happens if they motion a 3x1 to the Viper, away from the Viper? All right. The beauty of these 2 checks is it keeps your best player in the box and free in the low hole, also in the run fit. So we get motion to the Viper. We're going to check old school 3 buzz. So this safety, the field safety, is going to insert over number 3. He has 3 up as 3. Essentially the same rule the Rover has here in Apache, if that makes sense. Okay. This corner is going to play basically match 3 in between 1 and 2. Get in between 1 and 2 and play that third. The Viper is going to push to the flat. Okay. We're going to lock up the corner on the backside. Now, this safety here is going to do what's called a scooch technique. So basically, he's going to take 3 shuffle steps to the middle of the field while reading this tackle. That tackle is going to tell him, hey, it's pass, I got to get to the middle of the field. Hey, it's run, I have to come up and be the force or cutback defender. Either run to me, force, run away from me, cutback. Okay? And that's something that, like, and the thing, we start at every snap press too high. So literally in the beginning, I have to go behind my safeties and hold their jerseys. I don't want to show them because we're in the age of this and the fake clap and all this stuff. Like, hold your water, because we want to show open middle as much as possible, if that makes sense. Okay. Let me get to the film here, Coach.
Take your time, Coach. I will say you have total 15. You have about 10 to 12 to be safe.
Okay, cool. No, I appreciate it. I'm trying to get to this film here, and it's not.
Sometimes sometimes you have to unshare and reshare because Zoom is not always the most
friendly. I think we're gonna have to do that.
Yeah, you know how Zoom is. It's not the most friendliest device always. Man,
it's all good. Oh, here we go. Dot to the bottom. Beautiful. You guys see that, Coach?
No.
How about now?
Yep. Now we got it. Good.
Beautiful. Okay. Another way we could play trips is this flash check. Is basically we play 3/2 here, Tampa. Now, when I talked about trap before, okay, trap is we're going to undercut number 1. The safety is going to get over top of 1 with eyes to 1. Not, coach, I got to 1 and my back is turned and I'm looking at 1, and now they're throwing like a little out cut or some type of short 7 cut. The Viper has number 2 upper in, okay, and then we're going to shuffle. So essentially, flash for this backside safety is the same technique as 3 buzz backside. So scooching, we're locked up here, and then these 2 guys got to talk based on alignment. So if this guy's really, really tight, we'll just check cone, and he'll take first out, he'll take first in. So that's just kind of the communication process you guys got to have. All right. So why the 3 safety defense? Okay. Numbers everywhere, athletes on the field, have it created. We start everything at a press too high. Everything's simple. I don't want my guys thinking. I want them playing fast. And I grew up in the 4-3. Like, I grew up in old school Virginia, like George Welsh, 4-3. And even our pressures, everybody has a gap. So if something pops, we know, hey, this person missed it. He ran into somebody's back. He didn't do what he was supposed to do. He didn't scrape to his backside gap. We know what's going on. And this is something I stress a lot during the clinic season when I was out speaking is everything's all about, I think there's a lot of coaches that say, we'll just adjust. We'll react to the offense. The hell with that. We're going to dictate to the offense. Like, we're going to put numbers where you don't want them. Now we're going to stem. Now we're going to pressure. And we're not going to zero out pressure. We're going to trap pressure. We're going to fire zone pressure. We're going to bracket pressure. But we're going to give you multiple pressures out of the same look. So now when you're getting ready for the game, well, here's a look that has 7 different pressures out of it. So good luck getting ready for it. And then tempo. I think there's 2 kinds of tempo. I think there's Josh Heupel tempo, and I think there's one of my players is in digital computer design class, and I want to show you how many new cards that he had made up during the week, and they hurried to the line, and that kind of pressure too. We talked about motion checks, and I think the one thing that we do a really good job of, and what we did this past year, is we took away their best player. One of the things that we hang our hat on is have a great. I did not make this up. Coach Brown made it up when he was in Michigan. So we adopted it, and I think it's a great thing for your kids to be able to see. We had a 41% havoc rate this year. We finished with the best record in the history of the school. First conference title, first district championship, #1 defense in the area, set a record for TFL, sacks, forced fumbles, and interceptions. How you calculate the havoc rate is you take, for every game, you take your sacks, your TFLs, your INTs, your forced fumbles, and your third down stops. You divide them over the number of total plays you were out there. And that's how you get your havoc rate. And then we gave a sticker based off of our goal for that week. Like if it was 30%, we won, we got a sticker. 40%, we got a sticker. If they got twice this year, we got over 50. So they got 2 stickers. So it's a great incentive-based program for the kids. All right. Let me see. I think this is why this isn't what I want it to be, Coach. I had the big New England pulled up, I believe. Nope, that's not it. All right. All right. Talked about flash. Okay. So 11 personnel. Beautiful. Okay. So spread. All right. So 11 personnel. All right. So Viper's rules always go to the passing strength. Now, he's in the RPO read, so he's got to slow play this. So we won't trap this because he has to slow play it so the quarterback will hand the ball off. All right. So we're Tampa here. We're basically zeroed out on this side. The end will go to a 5. Okay, the end will go to a 5 if the tight end is in the court. All right. We'll still play a 4 eye on the backside. Now the nose is slant. Tight end of the court will trump the back. Okay. So now we have a 5 technique. We now have our Y. We're zeroed out over here. Number 3 is here. So this is where our rover sits. All right. And then we're slow playing this. Okay. Now, going back to that picture of the trips. Okay, going back to that picture of the trips. Let me go back and go ahead and reshare this, Coach. All right, let's share this again. Boom, boom. Okay, going back to this picture of the trips. Now, if this Y was attached, nothing would change. Okay, so if this guy was in line, all the rover would do was move his alignment. Again, the one thing too for us is we're extremely consistent with our single receiver rules, whether it's trap, invert, or bracket. Okay, but I mean to us, we pride ourselves on numbers. We pride ourselves on preparation. And Coach, do I got time to get in some pressure stuff?
Yeah. If you want to use the rest of your time, you're good.
Okay. What do I got? Like 4 minutes, 3 minutes?
Total 7.
7. Oh, beautiful.
Yeah. Okay. If any questions pop up, I'll just yell at you.
Cool. So here's a picture of the attached Y, guys. So again, 4 over 3, 3 over 2 with the corner, safety, and the jack. So we're solid here. And then once we nail this stuff down, we can get to a mid front, the 2x2. The only difference with the mid front is that if we get motion away from the Viper, is we're just going to check roll. So basically, we'll go 3 buzz to the Viper and roll away. So we'll jam really hard here. So we'll roll right, outside third, middle third, deep third. and then we'll have we'll have a flat defender here. Okay, so that's kind of the progression of before we put the pressure in. Now, out of the base stuff, we talked about this rover being this guy, right? So we'll basically play, if we're going to play regular cover 3, which is our green, okay, we're going to insert the safety away from the Viper down. We're going to press bail into thirds, okay? We're basically man matching 2 here. So if 2's up or out, we're buying him, okay? We're going to take the rover, put him in the middle, and then we're going to insert the safety in between the Mike and the Jack. Basically, him and the rover, regular green, the rover would be the robber. This safety would get to the middle of the field. All right, now in green robber, all those guys are doing is flip-flopping responsibilities, if that makes sense. So only thing that changes is for those 2 guys, okay? Now, beautiful. Here we go. So our Florida front. So we have Baylor, which is 3 down. Georgia, which is 4 down. This is our Florida front right here. So everybody covered up. All right. And the thing is, guys, once you do this enough with your kids, you don't even need, by the time we get to August after spring ball, we don't even need to call the Baylor, Georgia. They know that fire is out of the Florida front. So I just literally got to check fire. Boom, those guys know, hey, we're stemming to this. What I could say is, if you guys have the resources, if you're going to be a stemming team, one of the things that we did the last 2 years is we charted when the opposing offense, when we got them scouted by a member of the freshman staff or somebody in the community, is put the play clock on at practice and say, hey, their average time of snap is 12 seconds on the play clock. So you want to stem at 14 because it's their high school offensive lineman, right? So, hey, man, if it's power, if it's gap scheme, or even if it's zone, hey, I know we're comboing here. Hey, I know it's down, kick out here. All of a sudden, it's linebackers are yelling move, and then boom, now you're in this front, and now the quarterback wants the ball. He's like, let's go, we're ready to stop the ball. So this is fire and smoke out of our Florida front. And it's all, it could be 2 coverages, okay? It could be green, cover 3, or it could be black, cover 0 with a spy, and I'll explain that in a second. So fire is I, right? So that means we're getting inside pressure from the Viper. So the end of the Viper side knows he's edge contained. The Mike is popping, okay, for this A gap, all right? Because we want to give a look. We're rushing 5, but it's a different 5 than what we're showing. All right, so he's going to blitz inside, and inside blitzers have no contained responsibility. Blitz division, come under control, make a play. The nose is going to slant away from the back. Jack's going to take his B gap, edge contained. He's popping for A. These 2 guys are man matching 2. These guys are 1x7 inside leverage, basically taking verts. Now you can play him in the middle, or you can say, hey, this guy will run with pressure. We just go black spy with him, so he pats his feet at 8. And basically wherever the quarterback goes, that's where that cat goes. But you're given a 3 across look, and it looks like we're in kind of like a bastardized version of cover 2 when we're really not. We're really either playing 3 or we're playing spy, okay? Now, the caveat to that out of the same look is smoke, all right? So now, hey, it's smoke lucky. This end knows he's inside now because the Viper has edge contained. Same job for the Mike, same job for the nose. End is a B gap player. Jack is looping for C, and your same structure down here, either cover 0 or cover 3 match, just depending on what you want to do. Okay. Okay. A boundary pressure we run out of that look is Cincy. So as soon as the Viper hears Cincy, he's running to the field. So we're either trapping or playing Tampa 2 here. We have our same Florida look. Corners going, everybody's slanted to the field. Now, if we get motion to trips, this Jack has to detach because he's running down the middle of the field, number 3. We're going to trap the boundary. So this safety is our flat trap defender. He's our half defender. Okay, and then we're playing either trap or Tampa 2 on that side. Coach, I didn't know if we had any questions or
nothing's popped up yet. But actually, We got about 2 minutes, so here's what I'll do. Coach, I mean, question for you. Obviously your website's the place to start, but like when you've gone through a bunch of fronts, coverages, smokes, where do you typically start? Like, and what I mean by that is you've talked a lot of 10, 11 personnel. Where is your kind of like starting point for 10 and 11 personnel, just in general? Like, obviously there's other factors that would go for it, but like spring or summer install, where is your like base point of everything you kind of showed today?
I mean, we're living here in slide 1 and slide 2. I mean, I tell our kids, like, we're not getting to the fun stuff unless we know, A, where to line up, where we fit in the run, and B, what our pass responsibilities are. And I got to say, the one thing I think that's really helped us is we've kind of gone away from 7-on-7. We've done all pattern match stuff. We've taken the ball out of the younger kids' hands. 2 reasons. 1 is we get a lot more reps. 2, program retention. We don't have the young quarterback that can't throw the 7-cut, trying to throw the 7-cut to the young receiver, and that kid getting his clock cleaned by the senior safety that's going to Minnesota, if that makes sense. Like that's not making us any better. We want to get reps, right? And then what we'll do is we'll marry that into our pressure period. Well, now we're running our pressures pattern match. So now those, hey, let's say I'll go back to let me get to that smoke, that Cincy, Uno, flash. Let me get to okay, so like if we're gonna run Panther here, right? So we're trapping this. So these guys will go through their pressure stuff. Mike has 2 upper end, corners trapping, safeties over top, Rover's got 2 upper end. So now that quarterback, they can run the routes and those guys can see those routes. And then technically what we do is we'll take those routes from the pattern match period and mix them into teams. So, but now we're best on best as opposed to the young kids that maybe don't understand, or we want, we want to get a quality rep. I know that our Rover, who is a full scholarship kid to a D2 school, can knock the what out of this kid. I don't need to see that in practice. I need to see that he understands how he plays, a post route, or how he plays a hitch route, or how he plays a seam route, right? I don't need to see him just knock the ever-loving crap out of a 9th or a 10th grader, if that makes sense.
All right. Perfect, Coach. Well, I appreciate you. Coaches, if you need to get a hold of Coach, the best way literally is Twitter. His Twitter, I put it in the group chat. And I think it was at the beginning of this presentation, Coach had it. Like I said, the replay of this will be on once this is done, and then I'll cut all this stuff up later today or tomorrow, so coaches can find this. And then again, if you type in Coach's name A on YouTube, B on CoachTube, C anywhere else, you'll probably find him or anything he's ever done. I mean, pretty much Coach gives out the what's the word I want to use? Keys to the house and the car there, as much as humanly possible. So, like, if you want to find stuff, reach out to Coach. Coach is a good dude. I've known Coach for years now. So, Coach, appreciate you.
Thanks, brother. I appreciate you. Good luck with the rest of the clinic, and we'll be talking soon.
Thanks, my man. Talk to you.
All right, buddy.